steel rain. That is what soldiers called it. When the batteries opened fire, an area the size of several football fields could simply cease to exist in less than 20 seconds. There was no warning, no time to take cover, and for the infantry caught in the open, there was almost no chance of survival. During the 1980s, this weapon was not built in Moscow, and it was not built in Washington. The machine that redefined the concept of saturation artillery and terrified armies across the Middle East was designed and built deep in the interior of São Paulo, Brazil. This is the story of the Astros rocket system, a weapon that transformed Brazil from a regional military supplier into one of the most surprising players in the global arms industry, and how a country known more for football and coffee built one of the most feared artillery systems of the Cold War. The war that created demand. December 1980. The border between Iran and Iraq was burning. The conflict had begun months earlier when Saddam Hussein ordered Iraqi forces to invade Iran. What Baghdad expected to be a rapid campaign quickly turned into a nightmare. The war became a brutal stalemate. Trenches stretched across the desert. Artillery pounded the front lines day and night. Millions of soldiers were mobilized, and Iran held one overwhelming advantage: manpower. Iranian commanders increasingly relied on mass infantry assaults, what became known as human wave attacks. Thousands of soldiers advanced across minefields and defensive lines in massive formations. Machine guns alone could not stop them. Traditional artillery was precise but slow. Iraq needed something else. Something capable of saturating a huge area with explosives in seconds. They needed a weapon that could break an entire offensive before it reached the front line. At the time, the global arms market offered two main options. The Soviet Union sold the BM-21 Grad rocket launcher, a descendant of the famous Stalin's organs used during World War II. The Grad was simple, cheap, and effective, but limited. Its rockets had relatively short range and modest payloads. The United States had advanced technology, but political restrictions often prevented large-scale exports. And into this strategic gap stepped an unexpected player: Brazil, the vision of João Verde. The company responsible was Avibras Indústria Aeroespacial, based in São José dos Campos. Founded by engineer Jose Carvalho Leite, Avibras had originally focused on space research and sounding rockets. But Verde saw an opportunity. When he studied existing rocket artillery systems around the world, he noticed a fundamental problem. They were rigid. If an army bought a Soviet system, it was locked into a single rocket caliber. If commanders needed short-range support, they used that rocket. If they needed long-range strikes, they needed an entirely different launcher, different trucks, different logistics, different training. Verde asked a different question. What if a single launcher could fire multiple types of rockets? The answer became the core innovation of the Astros system: modularity. Instead of fixed launch rails, Avibras designed interchangeable rocket containers. The same launcher could fire small rockets for tactical targets, or massive rockets capable of striking deep behind enemy lines. It was a deceptively simple idea, but it changed everything. A different philosophy of rocket artillery. The significance of this concept becomes clearer when compared with other systems of the era. The Soviet BM-21 Grad fired only one rocket type. The American M270 MLRS, introduced later in the 1980s, carried two pods with 6 227mm rockets each. Both were powerful systems, but they were specialized. The Brazilian Astros system followed a different philosophy. Instead of designing a launcher around a rocket, Brazilian engineers designed a launcher that could fire many different rockets, from small tactical rockets to large strategic ones. One truck, multiple missions. For countries with limited budgets but complex security challenges, that flexibility was extremely attractive. Building the machine. Turning this concept into reality required solving enormous engineering challenges. The first was mobility. Rocket artillery must move quickly. If it remains stationary after firing, it becomes an easy target for enemy counter-battery fire. To solve this, Avibras created a specialized vehicle manufacturer called Tektron. The Astros launcher was built on a rugged 6x6 chassis powered by Mercedes-Benz engines. The vehicles were designed to operate where roads barely existed, across deserts, forests, and rough terrain. The crew cabin received armor protection against small arms fire and artillery fragments. And the launch system itself was engineered to fire dozens of rockets in rapid succession. But Astros was never meant to operate alone. It was designed as an integrated artillery battery. At the center were the launch vehicles known as the AVLMU. Each launcher carried multiple rocket pods and could fire its entire payload in seconds. Behind them operated the AVRMD resupply vehicle. Equipped with a hydraulic crane, it could reload launchers quickly, allowing the battery to fire again before the enemy could react. Coordinating everything was the AVVCC command vehicle. This mobile command post directed multiple launchers and integrated battlefield data from observers and radar systems. Radar such as the Field Guard system tracked rocket trajectories and calculated atmospheric corrections. Together, these vehicles formed a mobile artillery network capable of delivering devastating firepower within minutes. The Rocket Arsenal. The Astros system launched a family of rockets known as the SS series. The SS-30 fired 127mm rockets with a range of about 30 kilometers. The SS-40 used 180mm rockets capable of heavier payloads. And the giant SS-60 launched 300mm rockets that could strike targets up to 90 kilometers away. Each launcher could unleash dozens of rockets in seconds. The doctrine developed for the system was simple: shoot and scoot. The launchers would emerge from concealed positions, fire their entire payload, and relocate immediately. Before the rockets even hit their targets, the trucks were already moving to a new firing position. The billion-dollar opportunity. In the early 1980s, Iraq urgently needed weapons capable of stopping Iran's massive offensives. When Iraqi officials saw demonstrations of the Astros system, they were impressed. Avibras wasn't just selling rockets. They were offering an entire battlefield solution: launchers, resupply vehicles, command systems, fire control radar. The resulting deal became one of the largest arms contracts in Brazilian history, worth billions of dollars. For Avibras, it transformed the Astros from an experimental concept into a mass-produced weapon system. By 1984, Astros batteries were arriving on the front lines of the Iran-Iraq War. Trial by fire. When the system was first used in combat near Basra, the effect was devastating. Instead of firing one artillery shell at a time, Astros delivered massive rocket barrages. Entire areas were saturated with explosives within seconds. The sky seemed to fill with smoke and flame. Warheads detonated across wide areas, spreading lethal fragmentation. For Iranian formations preparing to launch mass assaults, the effect was catastrophic. Large troop concentrations could be shattered before they even reached the battlefield. The Astros system quickly became a central element of Iraq's defensive strategy. A strange war. Astros versus Astros. A decade later, the system would face a bizarre new situation. In 1990, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. The United States assembled a massive international coalition to push Iraqi forces out. Among the coalition partners were Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Both of them had purchased Astros systems from Brazil. The result was an unusual scenario: Brazilian rocket artillery on both sides of the same war. During the Battle of Khafji in 1991, Saudi Astros batteries helped repel Iraqi mechanized forces attempting to advance into Saudi territory. Coalition aircraft and ground forces worked together with rocket artillery to disrupt Iraqi reinforcements. But Iraq's Astros units faced a major problem. They had lost the air war. Coalition aircraft, supported by surveillance platforms like JS-STARS, were able to detect Iraqi launchers and destroy them before they could relocate. The lesson was clear: even the most mobile artillery cannot survive without air superiority. The collapse of the market. After the Gulf War, the global arms market changed dramatically. The Cold War ended. Iraq was placed under international sanctions. Demand for large rocket artillery systems collapsed. Avibras, once employing thousands of workers, entered a period of severe decline. For years, the Astros system appeared destined to become a relic of the 1980s. But the story was not over. The resurrection. Astros 2020. In the early 2000s, Brazil's military leadership realized something important. The country lacked long-range precision strike capability. To address this gap, Brazil launched the Astros 2020 Modernization program. The new generation system, known as Astros Mark VI, kept the original modular philosophy but introduced modern technology. Digital cockpits replaced analog controls. Encrypted communications linked launchers into a networked battlefield. Navigation systems combined inertial guidance with GPS. But the biggest change was in the rockets themselves. New guided rockets such as the SS-40G and SS-80G could correct their flight path during launch. Instead of saturating entire areas, commanders could now strike specific targets with far greater precision. The strategic leap. Brazil's cruise missile. The most ambitious element of the modernization program was the development of an entirely new weapon. The AVTM-300 tactical cruise missile. Unlike ballistic rockets, which follow a predictable arc, a cruise missile behaves like a small, unmanned aircraft. After launch, wings deploy. A jet engine propels the missile forward. Guidance systems navigate the missile across hundreds of kilometers. Flying at low altitude to avoid radar detection, the AVTM-300 can strike targets roughly 300 kilometers away. This capability transforms Astros from a tactical artillery system into a strategic strike platform. Hidden deep inside national territory, a battery of Astros launchers could strike airfields, supply depots, or command centers far behind enemy lines. Few countries possess such capabilities using domestically developed technology. The legacy today, the Astros system remains in service with several countries around the world. Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brazil itself. More than 4 decades after its first deployment, the system continues to evolve. From unguided rockets fired during the brutal battles of the Iran-Iraq War, to precision strike weapons capable of hitting targets hundreds of kilometers away. It is proof that military innovation does not belong exclusively to global superpowers. Sometimes the technology that reshapes the battlefield is designed far from Washington, Moscow, or Beijing. Sometimes it begins in a quiet engineering office in São José dos Campos. And when it fires, the sky still turns into steel rain. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating artillery systems ever built, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the next episode. Because history still hides many weapons that changed the world.